The following is a presentation given October 10th, 2019 at Richfield High School by Shaylee Garnier. The Forever 30 Foundation is dedicated to promoting kindness. If you would like more information or would like us to present for your organization, please contact us at the email address here. And now, Shaylee Garnier.
Any of you that are worried, no, I'm not a freshman. I may be the same size, but I've in fact been graduated for almost 10 years. So in case any of you were confused, I wanted to clarify. No, but I'm super excited to be here and to share this message that we have prepared for you. As Dr. Barton said, we believe that this message has the power to change your lives and the lives of those around you for the better. That if you will take the next hour to listen, and I'm hoping maybe learn something, if you will act upon what you will learn, you will be able to create the change that our world, our society, and our community so desperately needs. Now to start out, I have 3 stories for you. All stories are true. They all took place. I just changed some of the names of the people involved to protect them. And all 3 stories share a similarity or common factor between them. And as I'm telling you these stories, I want you to try and identify this common factor. Story number 1 involves a boy named Sam. Sam was a freshman in high school, not quite old enough to drive yet. And one day in school, Sam got invited to go to lunch with the group of the older, popular kids. Sam was really excited about this, because not only did it mean that he got to hang out with these older, popular kids, he got to take a break from the school for lunch. And we all know how much we like that. So as the morning dragged on, and as Sam was waiting for lunch, when it finally approached, Sam raced out to the parking lot to find himself basically uninvited. The carload of the group of kids that were going was full, and there wasn't an empty seat for Sam. So without really thinking twice about it, the group of kids in the car just drove off, and they left Sam standing there. And as Sam was turning to walk back into school, another older classmate ran up to Sam, put his arm around Sam, and told him and invited him that he was more than welcome to go to lunch with him. And he not only took him to lunch, he paid for his lunch as well. This experience went from potentially very disappointing to really awesome that day. And this experience not only made Sam's day, but it caused him to look out for others that may need a friend to go to lunch with. Story number 2 involves the sport of motocross. I don't know how many of you are very familiar with the sport, but it's pretty intense. A typical race event will last all weekend, Friday being your practice day, and Saturday and Sunday being your actual race days. Now you would think because Friday's only a practice day, that it wouldn't be that important, but you'd be wrong. A typical racer uses Friday as a really important day because it helps the rider get familiar with the track, and it paints a very clear picture of the kind of competition you're looking at for that weekend. And on one practice day, a rider named Jace was pushing pretty hard, trying to keep pace with a certain boy on the track, because this certain competitor, was probably going to be his toughest competition for the weekend. And as Jace was pushing hard, coming on along a turn, he pushed just a little too hard and lost control and wrecked his bike. And as Jace was trying to get the bike off of him and trying to get back up, he looked up and he noticed his competitor had pulled off the track and was running towards him to make sure Jace was okay. This competitor didn't use Jace's fall as a point to gain the advantage and gave up his lap time to make sure Jace was okay. And in the sport of motocross, this is not something that you do. This experience created a friendship between these 2 competitors and quickly taught Jace that there are far more important things to life than just winning. My third and my last story involves a very special boy named Curtis. Now Curtis suffers from some unique difficulties. Big events and big buildings or rooms like this, crowded with a lot of people, can cause a lot of anxiety for Curtis. Simple events that most of us enjoy, basketball, football games, assemblies like this, even certain classes, can cause a lot of stress for Curtis. And one day during school, there was an assembly that Curtis was nervous about and didn't even know if his stress was going to allow him to attend. And as he was hesitantly standing outside the door of the auditorium, an older classmate ran up to Curtis, explained to Curtis that he had a seat saved for him inside, and he would walk in the auditorium with him. This experience not only allowed Curtis to attend the assembly, but to actually enjoy it. And this is an experience that Curtis still gets pretty excited about when you talk to him about it. So, in all my 3 stories, were you able to identify the common factor or the similarity that they shared? Yes? No? Can I get some nodding, or I can see you? Yes. Okay. The common factor in each story is that one person had the power to make a difference for somebody else. That by one person going out of their way and doing a simple act created a miracle for somebody else. Henry David Thoreau once said, "What lies behind us and what lies before us are tiny matters compared to what lies within us." And when we bring what is within us out into the world, miracles happen. I am here today to tell you that each one of you has the power within yourself to create a miracle for somebody else. You guys have the awesome opportunity to create a legacy. And you're going to create and build this legacy that when you move on or graduate, you leave it behind. This legacy can be big or small, good or bad. The cool thing is it's totally up to you what you leave behind. Now there is something, a contributing factor that plays into the kind of legacy you're going to leave behind. And what that is it is the way you treat those around you. It is how you make people feel every single day that is going to determine the kind of legacy you leave behind. Now, the average person lives about 27,375 days on this earth. So on average, that's saying you have about 27,375 different opportunities to create over 27,000 miracles. So with all of this time and with all of these opportunities, what are you going to create? Now we live in a world where opportunity is great, and so are the technological advancements. And with these advancements come some pretty awesome rewards, but also come some pretty significant challenges. By the raise of hands, how many of you have some form of social media? Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, Snapchat. That's literally almost every single person in this room. Social media has created a level of connection that we cannot escape from. Back in the day when a kid got bullied at school, he could go home and he could escape it. His house was a safe zone. But now, because of social media, it has taken that safe zone away. Bullying and cyberbullying are easier to do now more than ever, and it is ruining people's lives. We actually seem to live into a society that is more attracted to the hate and the discontent than they are the love and positivity. Studies have shown that if somebody posts a video on Facebook or social media that contains a hateful and discontentful message, it is more likely to go viral faster than if it had a loving, positive message. And I get it, bullying isn't all you guys deal with. You as the youth have so much thrown at you. You guys have pressure to succeed academically, athletically, even socially. You have social media telling you you're not good enough, if you're not skinny enough, if you're not pretty enough, if you don't get enough likes, if you don't have enough followers. Some of you deal with pressure to maybe hang out with the wrong crowd, get drunk over the weekend, try the latest drug. Some of you deal with depression, anxiety, self-image, knowing your self-worth. And there are even some of you in this room that may be dealing with bigger problems at home, such as abuse or a terminal illness in yourself or a loved one. So with all that being said, with all this talk about negativity and pressure, you guys, how many of us are drowning from it all? How many of us are so tired? Henry B. Eyring said, "When you meet someone, treat them as if they are in serious trouble, and you will be right more than half the time." I was on Facebook the other day, and one of the newsrooms that I follow posted a study that ranked the different states in the country based on where their level of mental health stood. Do you guys want to know where Utah placed? I can't really make it out what you're saying, but dead last, you guys. We came in dead last for our level of mental health. And then I was looking to kind of see what contributed to this. Peer pressure, social media, and bullying were your top 3 factors. All things we can change. So suicide right now is up about 50% in the state of Utah since 1999. This puts us at about the 5th highest state in the country for deaths by suicide. A ranking we do not want. And to make matters worse for us here at home, according to the Utah Department of Health, this tiny Sevier County experiences 92% more deaths by suicide. You guys, our tiny little county here is one of the largest out of the entire state of Utah for deaths by suicide. So people are struggling. So I have some questions for you guys, and I'm going to be honest. We're going to pray that this works because you might overblow me, but we're going to try it. Pull out your phones. I got permission, pull them out. And what I want you to do is I want you to, if you're on the front row, if you're close enough, take a picture of that and it should pull it up. Or if you're in the back and can't take a picture, I need you to type in that web page thing in your web browser exactly the way it is here. It's going to pull you up to some questions, but here's the key thing that I need you guys to pay attention. Do not push next on the questions until I tell you to. Because if you push next, it's going to throw us all off. So, let's see if this works. Let's pull up the questions. I'll give you guys some time to pull them up. Okay, so some of you have already been voting and have already seen the questions. Don't push next until I tell you. You've already pushed next, haven't you? All right. Hold on. Some of you have already pushed next. Hold on. Let me stop it. 1 second. I'm going back. Hold on.
Haley, do you want my phone?
Okay. All right. First question. How many of you can see the screen? You good? You good? First question. How many of you have felt negatively impacted due to somebody else's words or actions? It looks like about, I'd say 87% of you. That's a lot of percentage in this room. That's almost every single one of you. All right? Let's go to the next. Okay, next question. How many of you have ever taken a part of bullying or gossip? And I'm going to take this a little bit farther. How many of you have seen somebody being bullied and did nothing about it? Holy! You guys, that's 93% of you! At least you're being honest. My last school lie. You're being honest, and I appreciate it. All right. Okay, third question. Let's see. Is the third question up for you guys? Yeah. All right. Have you ever been bullied? You guys, I find it funny that more of you have taken a part in the bullying than have been bullied. That's a problem. All right. At least you're honest, though. All right. Next question. How many of you feel like you can make a difference? 100%? Okay. All right, you changed. Some of you lied. Just kidding. All right. Almost 80% of you believe you make a difference. And if almost 90% of you guys are taking part in the bullying, do you see here why we have a problem? Do you see here the effect that you have on people? Next question, and my last question. How many of you have done something kind for somebody you don't know in the last 30 days? All right, you're a bunch of liars. You all just told me you were bullies. I don't believe it. No, I'm kidding. I really am kidding. All right, that's good though. At least you guys are being kind when you want. Okay? All right. So, with all of the talk about the bullying, the pressure, the negativity, you guys, how do we make a difference and what do we do to make this change? What can we do to create a change? I'll tell you where we start. We start by treating each other better. We start by being kind to everyone. So unfortunately, we live in a society today where we hear a lot about mass shootings, tragic accidents, suicides, even big natural disasters. And have you ever stopped to wonder, how is it that these people are able to get through these really hard tragedies that experience it? And I'm going to tell you, it is through the kind acts of individuals, of the community, of even societies coming together and being there and supporting and being kind to these people going through the tragedies that get them through their hard times. But this makes me ask, why is it we are waiting until a tragic accident has happened to be kind? You guys, why are we waiting until someone has left to post on Facebook just about how awesome they are? Why are we not posting on Facebook while they're here and they can see it? Why aren't we talking about how cool they are when we can tag them in it? Why aren't we sending them a text telling them how cool they are, or calling them and telling them how cool they are? You guys, kindness is not a luxury that we get to decide when and where and who deserves or when we give it. Kindness is a necessity that we need to give all the time to everyone freely. If you don't believe me that kindness is pretty important, let me introduce you to 5-year-old Baylor and Tony. Baylor and his mom they were out to dinner one night and found themselves standing in line behind Tony. And as they were waiting to get their food ordered, Sadie kind of noticed Baylor admiring Tony in his jacket. So Sadie kind of prompted Baylor and said, "Hey, do you want to tell him that you like his jacket?" Baylor then replied with an eager nod and looked at Tony and said, "I really like your jacket." This sincere compliment kind of led to a small conversation between them, which then led into Tony actually buying Baylor and Sadie's meal, which put them at the same table. And actually, that entire night, Baylor and Tony hung out and joked and laughed and kind of had a good night. Sadie didn't think too much about it, thought it was a good night, until she got home. And she got a message on Facebook from Tony. And Tony revealed to her that he had decided that he was going to take his life, and that night was supposed to be his last meal. Until he met Baylor, and it changed his mind. You guys, a sincere compliment from a 5-year-old saved that man's life. So, the cool thing about kindness is not only is it powerful for the person that's receiving it, it's powerful for the person that's giving it as well. In fact, did you notice, or did you know that even by witnessing or seeing someone do a kind act, it can mentally and physically benefit you? In his book, The Power of Kindness, Piero Ferrucci, which let's just pray I'm saying that right, states that giving kindness benefits those that are giving it just as much as it does those that are receiving it. He examines different studies and what the effects kindness has, and he found that kind people are more productive, are more successful, are generally happier, and are better equipped to handle the trials that life throws at them. Author Mallie Proctor did a similar study, but instead she studied the results or the effects of doing kindness has on our bodies. And she discovered that by doing acts of kindness, it actually causes a release of hormones in our bodies that make us feel good. So kind of like the same idea of exercise and endorphins, it's the same thing. The release of these hormones can actually reduce your anxiety, reduce your stresses, and can help you relate to others better, which ultimately cause better relationships with your friends, your family, and strangers you encounter every day. Kindness is always a win-win situation. And I know that this is what the research says about kindness, but I personally know that kindness creates miracles because I've witnessed it. I'd like to introduce you guys to somebody that has shown me just how amazing the miracles are that come from kindness. He has taught me and so many others that it takes one person to make a difference for somebody else, and all it takes is a little bit of kindness. That person is the same person who performed all the kind acts in the 3 stories that I told you about at the beginning, and that person is my special little brother, Hunter Siddell.
I think I know what money is. It is what I want. Why can I do it? Because I've been begging for this.
Died on a motocross accident is speaking out. They say their 18-year-old had a zest for life, inspiring people to follow their dreams. News 4 Utah's Rosie Nguyen finds out how they're remembering him tonight.
Hunter began racing at age 11, winning numerous trophies and awards along the way.
Hunter got good quick. Hunter was always good when he was little.
His focus was making it to the Loretta Lynn's race, but Hunter's best friend says even when he was on the track, he always put others first.
I remember that someone went down on the track or something. He didn't care. He pulled off. He pulled off to make sure that they were okay. He didn't care if he won the race. He was looking out for others, always looking out for others.
Hunter's family says they find comfort knowing he left this world doing what he loved.
If he had to go, that's how he would have wanted to go.
And now They're relying on his positive spirit to get them through this hard time.
He's taught me we need to live every day like tomorrow can be our last.
Hunter's friends and family will hold a memorial ride at his funeral on Saturday. For more information, head over to our website at goodforutah.com. In Central Valley, Rosie Nguyen, News 4 Utah.
Hunter has taught me what it means to be a kind person. I've been fortunate enough to have really good examples in my life, but Hunter taught me what it meant to live a kind life.
When I met Hunter, I knew he was different from the others. He took me under his wing. He was kind. Not only was I included, but I felt loved around Hunter.
He just brought light to my life. Made me feel like I was welcome in school. Made me feel like I was somebody when I was just a little kid.
Hunter had a unique ability to seek out kids that there was no payoff, so nobody else was trying. And it was genuine. We didn't know about it, you couldn't see it. It was just, I wish I could have videoed how the kids expressed it. He knew me, was what one of the boys said, and that had such a profound effect on my life, that he knew my student as a person, not as a special needs kid, not as an unpopular kid, not as a suicidal kid, not as somebody that I need to reach out to, but they just mattered.
He was kind and respectful and thoughtful. And the number of students that I have that come to English and love English is very limited, but the number that are respectful when they're there about what we're doing is very limited. Right off the bat, it stuck out to me.
The thing that we need today is more kids to step up, more adults to step up and be willing to help somebody and not worry about what the repercussion is. There was no repercussion worry about this kid.
Your simple act of kindness now might not mean a lot, but that person that you're showing that act of kindness to means the world to them at that moment in time.
Anybody can be kind, whether it's something that comes naturally to them or whether they have to learn it. Anyone can do it. And I think that a movement like this is definitely needed at a time like this when the world is just becoming dark, and sometimes the only light that we can bring to somebody else's life is kindness. And I think that we can try and follow in Hunter's footsteps and do what he did and be kind to others.
We challenge you to do 30 acts of kindness in 30 consecutive days for 30 different people, following the example of number 30.
May not be a miracle to you, but it can be a miracle for somebody else. When we talk about miracles, you tend to think of them as being these big, grand, large gestures, but they don't always have to be. In fact, the miracles I'm talking about are the opposite. My man, John Bon Jovi, said, miracles happen every day. Change your perception of what a miracle is, and you will see them all around you. You guys, I'm not asking you to go move mountains, to go discover world peace, or to go spend thousands of dollars in an out-of-country service project. I am asking you to find and do small and simple things that you can do every day. Hunter created a miracle by a fist bump, by a sincere compliment, by smiling to somebody in the hallway, by sitting next to somebody who is by themselves, by offering somebody a ride home from school, by inviting somebody to lunch. These are small and simple actions that created miracles for people, and I know they created miracles because I was told, and I've seen the results. The miracles I'm talking about are that. That is your miracle. That is what you guys are striving to do. I can promise you, whether it looks like it to you or not, there are people around you, there are people in this community, there's possibly somebody sitting next to you right now that is struggling. Some may just be having a bad day, and some may be struggling with giant challenges. But sometimes giant challenges don't need giant fixes. They need a friend, they need a listening ear, they need to know that they matter and that they're important. You guys, I want you to be somebody. That means everybody feel like a somebody. So, I was walking into the school the other day. You guys, I'm so sorry. I'm not meaning to crying all emotional. This is just something that I'm so passionate about. I was walking to the school the other day, and I ran into a car that had a sticker with Kellen Ayer's name on it. And it said, find those who are hurting and love them. And that is exactly what I'm challenging you to do. I'm challenging you to be kind to not only your friends, your family, but to everyone. To a stranger, to the outcast in the back, to your classmates. I'm challenging you to reach a little bit farther and get out of your circle. In pondering ways that we could make Hunter's tragedy into something positive, it was presented, the 30 in 30 430 challenge was presented. And we are challenging you to do 30 acts of kindness in 30 consecutive days for 30 different people in honor of our number 30. You're probably wondering why we chose the number 30. Obviously, Hunter wrote 30, and that was his number. But the studies and research that we've done has also shown that if you do something every single day consecutively for around 30 days, it becomes a habit. And that is exactly what we want these kind acts to become for you. We want it to become a habit and a part of your daily routine to look for opportunities to be kind. Now, we think it'd be pretty cool to keep a journal and write down your experiences of being kind, but I know in today's society it's something that's more appropriate. Let's post about it on social media. So we want you to actually post about your kind acts and what you've received on social media, not to brag or boast about being nice, but we want to spread this challenge as far as we can get it. And we want to use your guys' example to inspire others to be kind. The Forever 30 Foundation was created in honor of my little brother and his acts of kindness and the miracles that it created. But we also wanted to create something because when we were going through this tragedy, the amount of kindness that we were shown was so powerful and helped us so much that we wanted to create something to inspire others to do the same kind of kindness. And the cool part is for those seniors that are graduating this year, and for anybody, I guess seniors, we get to offer a scholarship at the end of every year. So if you would like more information and an application for the scholarship, you can go to www.forever30foundation.com. It has been said that a smart man will learn from his own experiences, but a wise man will learn from the experiences of others. Unfortunately, tragedy played a large role in my learning about kindness. And I hope you never will have to go through tragedy to discover how powerful kindness can be. I hope you will let Hunter's example and teach you, and you will learn from it. As I'm closing up, as I'm getting ready to leave, I want to tell you guys how awesome I think you are. You as the youth, and those students of Richville, I think you guys are the real deal. And I don't think you guys are told quite enough how awesome I think you guys all are. You guys hold all of the power. It is up to you guys to determine what the future of our society and what the future of this community looks like. And I hope that you will do as other students have done, and will take this challenge and will go out into the world and seeking opportunities to be nice to each other. And if you do take the challenge, we have little bands that you can pick up on your way out. It looks like I've got bands over there on the side door and over there on the side door. So do we have bands in the back? I can't tell. No, just the side. So if you want a band, make sure you go out the 2 side doors. As a reminder to be kind and to accept the challenge, or just because they're so cool and you want one anyways. So, I appreciate you guys letting me be here. I appreciate the time that I've been able to spend with you, and I hope that you guys will be nice to each other and will enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you for watching this presentation. If you would like more information about bringing this presentation to your school or to make a donation to the Forever 30 Foundation, please email us at forever30foundation@gmail.com.